I'm kind of hoping for a gravity boot start.
Spirit Orb at the start.
Honestly, I'm happy to see it. We're actually going to get some numbers this run. And I think you'll agree, Crazy, the numbers in SotN look really nice, you know? Like, visually, it's kind of satisfying to see those numbers go up, especially because Alucard is so strong. But we hardly ever see anyone pick it up.
Yeah, it does numbers for your dopamine levels.
Thank you, Curse, for the raid, by the way. Hope you had a good stream. The Spike Breaker here.
Spike Breaker is always fun to find.
Ooh, and a Moonstone. That's good.
Moonstone. We saw Matthews throw it on immediately.
No, I'm confused here, Crazy. It's not nighttime. Why is the Moonstone giving bonus stats? How does that work?
Well, see, the PlayStation 1 doesn't have an internal clock as far as I remember. But essentially, canonically in the game, every game starts at midnight. It wasn't until the Saturn version where it goes based off of the internal clock. I think that's how it is.
Yeah, so basically, unless you're playing for 6 hours, Moonstone's always going to be better than Sunstone on PlayStation. But who knows? Maybe someday we'll have like a SotN, Aria, Super Metroid, Zelda 3 combo random that takes 8 hours, and that's when Sunstone is finally going to become relevant.
All right, Matthews' luck is crazy because he just got a Medusa shield as well.
Very useful. Okay, a Leapstone start. Let me tell you, I prefer the alchemy route in general. I especially prefer the alchemy route with Leapstone because you have multiple shortcuts here that we're going to see from Giovanni to speed this up even more. Well, not going for one of them. You can just jump right up onto that ledge if you want. That's the first one. And the second one, you can dive kick onto the Bone Spittle. And that saves 1,000,000.
The only thing that I'd say where I like DerDrach's version is he can go to keep really fast if he really wants to.
That's just not a bad point. But no, we're going down.
Yeah, if you weren't going to keep, then going through alchemy routes would probably be faster.
Perfect. Nicely done by Matheus. Now this could be Giovanni's final game of the whole tournament. So, nothing left to lose. We're kind of seeing that with these shield dashes. Matheus just mashing like his life depends on it.
Yeah, notice that last seed his shield dashing was fast, and now it's just gotten a little bit faster. DerDrach questioning whether or not he wanted to check Spirit Orb first. There goes the worst accidental soul steal you've ever seen.
Reminder, as always, inputs in SotN are a complete meme. It is
remember
not
the
a
last-
skill issue. It is a SotN has a bad system for registering inputs issue.
I remember the last time I was on comms and somebody got that. I was like, I've never had an accidental soul steal. And then the next day I got an accidental soul steal.
Oh, so you've joined the club, yeah. I think it depends on what kind of controller a person is using, whether it's more or less common. On Logitech controllers, it happens just constantly.
I used a Xbox Series X controller because the D-pad is a lot better. And as a D-pad only player, that's my preference.
Comment from the chat, the way that the game handles inputs isn't bad, it's unforgiving. Completely incorrect. The problem is that it's way, way too forgiving. It gives you like 0.3 seconds to go from one input to the next. So if you're doing a soul steal, you go back, then you have 0.3 to go forward, then you have 0.3 to go forward down, 0.3 to go down, and so on and so on. That's the reason why you get all of these incidental inputs. Because you're pressing a lot of buttons, trying to optimize your movement speed, and the game is still counting that window. So it's actually one of those situations where it really should be toned down to like a 0.15 or a 0.2 link. And that would improve it. I have a clip, one of my favorite Twitter clips, where you can like basically extend every individual input on like Sword Brothers. It's like a 15-second input, and the game will still count it. It's ridiculous. So yeah, that's how it works. Some good trivia for you.
The game is perfect with absolutely zero flaws.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. My apologies. No, we appreciate some jank, A lot of the best games have got some jank to them.
It's one of those situations. Like I heard you say that it was unintended. I count it as an intended mechanic that was designed to be abused.
So a much better start this time compared to last seed. Early leap stone and now early gravity boots.
DerDrach forgot to cancel his Hellfire.
Pong doesn't have jank. I can assure you it has a lot of jank. In fact, there are lots of different versions of Pong. A lot of them are super janky.
Yeah,
have you ever played... Sorry, go ahead.
Even in the original instances of Pong, there was still a lot of glitches that would cause the your paddle to be dislodged with its hitbox.
Mm-hmm. I've heard that. I've also heard that on the original arcade cabinets. Is that what it was called for Pong? A cabinet? I'm going to assume so. The little knobs to control apparently got pretty faulty with time. So even Pong's got some jank. Anyway, Jewel and Fire a Bat, that's going to be complexity 3. Oh, Tetris has got jank for days. I mean, have you seen all the developments in NES Tetris? That speaks for itself. But even beyond that, like wall kicks, rotation systems, etc., etc., etc. There's a lot of jank.
The glitch that happens whenever the memory is too full and it just completely destroys the game.
Crazy, what's your favorite puzzle game?
I've never really even thought about it. Yeah, I got nothing.
Not a fan.
I would say Tetris, but I'm terrible at Tetris. So.
Well, that's always my problem. Like, I like Tetris and I like puzzle games. I'm just bad.
I mean, maybe you can say Portal.
That's a good choice. Yeah, of course.
Maybe.
So DerDrach, I feel like DerDrach is once again slightly outplaying here.
We have the worst thing ever in the seed. So you said that Jewel of Open was layer 3. Well, so is Holy Glasses.
Oh, it's one of these. So like just so many checks have opened up at once. How do you route this? I mean, what do you do here?
There is no incorrect thing to do. I personally, if I have good combat, I would go second castle. If I don't have good combat, I'll stay in first.
Well, 2 cards kind of shake things up here. So Ectoplasm and Lion, both of those are going to be right next to a library card position. Very convenient. 1 in castle 1, 1 in castle 2. If you're going to castle 2, you're full clear in castle 2, basically. So I think if you're DerDrach, you do it. Here we go.
Yeah, I wouldn't suspect anything less from him.
This is one of those things where you can do a really difficult route like this knowing you have an elevated chance of death because you have a 1-game lead.
It's not just that. He's found 2 cards immediately, too. So he's like, oh, I can find a 3rd card somewhere. He almost guaranteed.
Now, here's one reason to maybe stay in Castle 1. We're up to Complexity 3, right? Shared between Jewel of Open and Holy Glasses. We're going to have to get Complexity 5 at some point. It could be Spike Breaker is 5. And that's a high complexity check we have access to right now. Of course, it could just be Mist or Rings or something like that, but if that's there, that could benefit Matheus, who's staying in Castle 1. Oh boy, I'm really excited for this. This is the biggest possible divergence. Which castle is going to be correct?
Well, if you want to get down to it 100%, the likelihood between the 2 castles, so you have 7 checks that are opened up by Jewel of Open. You have 9 checks that are opened by Holy Glasses. So by the numbers, you could say that second castle is better.
Now, Matheus menued too quick
of...
on that ring card. I did not see it. Did you see it?
I didn't see it either, no.
Okay, apparently it's Ghost. Thank you, chat. That's Castle 1. So yeah, for those who say that SotN is an easy game, pray for DerDrach, because most of these boss fights are going to be potentially lethal. Still no Varda. Oh my god, wait a minute. Wait a minute.
This is a Jet Seed.
Oh my goodness gracious.
At most, the only thing Drach's going to find is possibly a progression. You can't find any random cards here.
We were both talking about how much we respected this Castle 2 Gambit, but then sometimes this happens. Ultra stacked Alchemy Lab.
Okay,
what's our community PB for this preset? Like 30-something minutes?
It's 30-30.
This one's got a chance.
I've stolen the record back from him. So.
Could this be a sub 30? My god.
This could potentially be the fastest bounty hunter race with all the cards and no random Vlads.
And see, here's the funny thing, Crazy. We have the 4 random cards. So we're only looking for the complexity card now. The only one of those that is, by the way, good route here for Matheus, getting Ghost on the way. The only high complexity check that's possible for Matheus is Spike Breaker. For DerDrach, there's nothing. DerDrach will not find a single card in Castle 2. Maybe Mist, maybe Rings, Maybe bat.
Well,
no
Drach is
cards.
now back in. He's now back in first castle.
Oh, that's a heads-up play from DerDrach. Splitting the difference. Good call.
So what DerDrach now has the ability to do is he knows that Lion is a farm. He can find the cards that are here, get all these farms done, find the complexity card, and then just farm or reverse library card from anywhere. Whereas Matheus would have to do the Richter fight.
It's true.
Before doing that. So Matheus might be a little bit ahead, but DerDrach has the routing.
Yeah, the decision to come back right away was genius. Oh, nice use of the Bible here. Bad farm, though. Really bad.
Yeah, I've said it multiple times. The respawning enemies just don't like dropping Vlads.
Say that again?
The respawning enemies just don't like dropping Vlads most of the time.
Right on time, it drops a Vlad.
Yep.
All right, so yeah, bad for Matheus, but could have been worse. Could have been worse.
That's how it works for me sometimes. I'll say it, and then there it goes. I guess it's commentator's curse.
It is just a universal truth with Castlevania Randa. You complain, and the game listens. It has to be sincere, though.
Okay, so we're going to see DerDrach go through Forbidden Route to get there.
See, if you're Matheus, you're just going down. I think.
He's still checking gravity boots. There's a transformation, which would then put Akmadon and Olrox in logic as well.
True. In fact, yeah, Wolf is now shared complexity 3, along with Holy Glasses and Jewel, which is kind of funny.
You gotta love complexity 5 seeds.
What are your thoughts, Crazy, on the idea that Bounty Hunter should be made complexity 6 in the future? Like, keep the preset exactly the same, but bump up the minimum complexity by 1.
I would think it would change or complexity 6 or complexity 7 would just make it a little bit better, where you're not constantly in the situation where you have, what is it, 16 checks in logic now?
Yeah, this is one of the reasons I like having these tournaments focus on a single preset, because not only does everyone get really good at that preset and develop those skills, we get a good sense of like what the preset's all about and how to develop the meta for it. We have a big sample size now, and while I love the madness of complexity 5, I think I agree it's a little too unpredictable when it comes to the routing. I think complexity 6 would be a good change. So I would support that. You could also argue, of course, that Bounty Hunter is unpredictable by nature, and that Complexity 5 fits it better, so I can see it both ways.
I think for player sanity, changing it to Complexity 6 or 7 would be better. For entertainment purposes, Complexity 5 is fine.
It is. Case in point, this is an insane game number 2. I have to ask, though, I'm not 100% in agreement with doing these checks here.
Let's see. So,
by the way, to the quick grab for DerDrach.
I understand checking gravity boots, and then whenever you see wolves there, that means you know that transformations aren't locked behind anything, so you could theoretically think that you're going to find that somewhere just random.
But, I mean, you just gave us the number. There's like, what, 15 checks left. That's just,
yeah,
I think it's a mistake.
Really, yeah, it is.
I think you do the checks that are like right on the way, like Gravity Boots, Demon Card. But riding the boat for a 1 in 15 chance at bat, swear to God, this is going to be bad, isn't it? But yeah, I don't agree with this boat ride.
Yeah, especially since you found Merman before getting Jewel of Open.
Just the lottery card.
Yeah, I can see doing Succubus Scylla, but skipping Holy Symbol.
I just feel like you do these checks later. Like you do a reverse caverns where you make a beeline for Spike Breaker, grab the warp, and then you can just go to Castle 2 if it's nothing.
Yeah,
Come back later.
With Holy Symbol, it's like, well, the most you can find is a random card. Well, you have all the random cards, so skip it. And I think we see DerDrach doing that. Since he has the Spike Breaker, he's going straight to Spike Breaker, probably checking Demon Card just to see if he finds Bat.
Yeah, if Drach commits to this...
There's absolutely no reason.
No, I'm with you on this one. If Drach commits to this, this could be decisive.
So yeah, the small lead that Matheus had by staying has kind of squandered itself because he decided to do checks that he didn't.
Yeah, it's been a big turnaround. It went from a massive lead, where Mateus staying in Castle 1 was absolutely the right call. Went from that massive lead. Oh, there's Mist.
Oh.
So that's Complexity 4, potentially. It's going to open up 3 candidates for Complexity 5. Then it went to a slight lead for Mateus when Drach came back. But like you said, because Mateus is doing these unnecessary checks, I think probably hoping to find Mist like that. Now Drach's ahead.
So yeah, I would suspect that Drach would be going straight to Spike Breaker. If he has a library card, library carding for Soul of Bat, and then just going straight to Silvering, and then reverse library carding from there. Because I think the only punishment right now is if the intended complexity is taking you to Holy Glasses.
Mm-hmm. Now keep in mind, Drach can just library card to Castle 2, whereas Mateus has to save Richter, fight Richter, save Richter, and then watch all those cutscenes. So Drach's got a good lead here. Good 90-second lead, I would say. And the Zipsy, that's a ton. Okay. Second Ring of Arcana just in time for the 4 farms coming up. So it's not here. I'm very surprised I'm not seeing a library card.
I don't think DerDrach has a library card right now.
Oh, okay. So the one that Mateus found at Holy Symbol could be useful then. Hopefully he doesn't hoard it. This is a great time to use it.
Yeah, but that's... In DerDrach's route, he might end up finding just a random library card, or a library card at one of the locations that he's just clearing because he's on the way to somewhere.
think this is a great call.
Yeah, it's pretty good call right here.
So if this is now the final card, we're going to be pretty close to even.
I would suspect DerDrach's going straight to Silvering at this time, though, and hoping to find a library card in Olrock's quarters, I believe.
Well, now you're absolutely done with checks. Matheus just found the random ring. Now you're done. Like, Bat's nice, but don't count on it. Just go try to find complexity stuff.
I was just looking at Drach has Power of Mist, but that was a Darkwing Bat. I just remembered.
Could it be right here?
No, it's just fire a bat.
Also, why is Drach doing this? Wait a minute.
He's doing this hoping to find a library card at one of these locations, and he's purely just doing this because he's on his way to Silver.
See, I feel like you do Zorlo, but not all rocks. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand the reason why he's doing it. It's not the worst idea. He's also not using the Firebrand sword special, so that completely deletes all rocks. So
yeah, Firebrand not nearly as good as the Marcel, but it does have some interesting tech to it. If it's Bat or a Varda or a library card, it's a J. So that was not worth.
It really wasn't. But Matheus is getting cursed a little too much here.
Yeah, I would just stick with this one. It's not that close to the edge of the screen, but it's good enough. You can get a double hit out of it. All right, time for Zorla. Okay, so there we go. Yeah, that's a more reasonable check. You know, invest the 10 seconds to get a Varda. That's worth. So at this point, it's either gonna be Silver Ring or it's gonna be Holy Glasses, right?
Yeah, that's the only thing that it can be. I believe.
So a 50-50. Meanwhile, a bad farm for Matheus.
A really bad farm.
Reminder, the odds are 1 in 9. Oh, there we go. Now they're 1 in 9. Oh, sick invincibility. Did you see that summon spirit? That was clutch.
Yeah. There goes the heart. We got DerDrach remembering that he has a farm right here too.
God, this is a real bounty hunter seat, isn't it? This really feels like a bounty hunter match. That's a good farm for Drach. Probably the single best farm we've seen so far. That's going to help. All right, now it's time for a 50-50. Is it here? Or are we going to have to find a silver ring in, like, Castle 2?
Yeah, this could even be Silvering. The world may never know. But they're going to right now.
There it is, the final card. At Silvering. Oh, Blue Venus Weed.
Okay, so Drach doesn't have the reverse library card. Well, he has the ability to as soon as he finds a card. but that just means that his route, if he had a library card, would be a lot better.
Yeah, and that's why he was doing some of these slower checks to try and find one. God, what an interesting race. I'm not sure who's ahead here. Probably DerDrach, but I'm not 100%.
Probably. Because Mattheus doesn't have any library cards left either, I don't think. Good thing Drach remembered that he fought Minotaur and Werewolf.
So the remaining farms after Hunting Girl for Matheus are going to be, who do we got?
Lion, was it?
Oh, with Lion the other one? Okay.
I think it was Lion.
Yeah, because we were talking about it would be good for a reverse library card, yeah.
Yeah, it was like Lion and then the Blue Venus Weed.
Yeah. Mournblade.
Mournblade.
Ooh. That's nice. That's also going to really help with the defense and survival. 0 Mournblades for DerDrach, 3 for Matheus. Okay, here we go. I gotta tell you, Crazy, this has been a turnaround once again. I'm gonna go ahead and switch back to Matheus' audio. I think he's ahead now.
He has a good chance of being ahead now.
Another back and forth.
It depends on how bad his Hunting Girl farm is, really.
Okay, so DerDrach's definitely got the better farm luck so far. That was a smooth ectoplasm.
But where's he going? What? He's hoping to find a library card at okay, he's hoping to find a library card at fairy card.
He's gonna end up disappointed.
Sleeve. Don't check Soul Bet. Do not check Soul Bet.
My feeling is just that
$200.
I really feel like DerDrach is just kind of fallen in love with this idea of, okay, if I can just get that library card, I can reverse library card, it'll be perfect. I think you got to cut your losses though.
Yeah, you're wasting too much time trying to find the random card or library card.
But you know what else is a waste of time? This farm for Matheus.
This really is a bad farm.
Another bad one.
Even more reason. I understand why DerDrach's trying to find the library card. You're wasting time trying to find the library card when you be taking that time to just do left side. Which is also the reason why whenever I was in the tournament, I played every preset because I was trying to make sure that I had the movement that is in all the presets.
Now I gotta tell ya, Matheus deserves a good farm here. Hopefully Lion and or Blue Venus Weed are better. Blue Venus Weed is gonna be a real difference maker. Because if that's a bad farm, it takes ages.
Matheus didn't get the Varda, so it's going to be hard for him to...
Good point. Good point. Yeah, that Mournblade might be worth using for Matheus, actually. Sacrifice the 30 luck.
Yep, I said it before. Sometimes you just have to kill it faster. I believe they should be entering second castle about the same time.
Well, Mateus is gonna do the Richter stuff, so Drach's gonna be
that's
ahead here.
Yeah, it might be close to the same time. It's just DerDrach's not gonna have to wait for cutscenes and everything.
Yeah, otherwise it would have been almost perfectly synced.
One thing I do know is that Mateus is not too fond of doing left side movement.
Oh, really?
He's an avid I go right side, but this seed's kind of forcing him to have to do left side. So I would imagine that, I mean, he shouldn't have too much difficulty, but getting past the cloaked knights is a little hard if you don't know how to do it.
Now, Mateus will be getting Power of Mist from Darkwing Bat, so that'll help. But yeah, if this ends up being kind of within a couple of minutes, I think the farm luck might end up being really significant.
Yeah, I think the farm luck's going to be the deciding factor here, because DerDrach might have a little bit of a lead, but all it takes is one worse farm than the other person to lose.
Uh-oh, worst room. All right. Gets out of that unpetrified.
Another reason why Matheus will have a little bit easier time. He has the Medusa shield, which prevents you from getting petrified. Little known fact about the Medusa shield.
All right, I'm gonna do a lead check for Drach once he enters the library, versus library.
I think it's maybe 30 to 45 seconds, roughly right now.
All right, so it begins.
That level up kind of baited me a little bit. Drach tunic, you want that. Any additional damage later on.
Not a great farm for Drach.
That was looking a little rough.
It's about an 80-second lead for Drach going into the library. But now it's even. Now it's literally tied. I love Bounty Hunter. It's literally tied. All right, Mateus, just stick with Mournblade, yeah. Just with that damage. Drach doing the classic. Is this the right enemy? Let me just check the menu. No, it says lion.
I do that
All
every
right.
time. Maybe there's a different line. There it is.
And that is
For
the
Drach.
equivalent of the complaint
And
manip.
it's
Whoa!
there for Matheus, too. Like I said, the farms could be the difference maker.
Could be the difference maker. So Yeah, that was a really good farm for Matheus considering no Alucard to gear. Definitely makes up a little bit for some of the earlier issues. Do not fight creature. Okay, yeah, good call. Oh my god, the sync.
Matheus took a little bit of the lead because Drach decided, oh, I need to take off this gear.
Oh, hang on. Drach's cooking with that regular... In fact, this is better than the Power of Wolf movement from earlier. This is good stuff.
Oh, you messed it up a little bit.
That's okay.
And then Drach just takes the lead back.
Beautiful wolf movement.
Still really close, though.
So, my god. It's going to come down to Blue Venus Weed. Is this the end of Matheus's run? Will we have a game 3? Because on the one hand, Matheus has got Mornblade and the Medusa Shield. On the other hand, Drach's got, Varda.
Varda, and sometimes it's all you need.
If anything, I think I'd rather have Alucard to Varda than Mornblade. Alright, this is pure bounty hunter right here. This is what this preset's all about. Just get lucky.
With the Varda and Alucard sword, at roughly this level, I think it's 5 hits. The Varda.
Oh my god, here we go. Oh, the level up baited me. Crazy, it baited me so bad. Yo, let's go! Got it. First try for Matheus. Oh my god.
You got some insane luck this time.
Oh boy. All right. Well, that certainly makes up for the earlier farms. You know, things do tend to even out a little bit. They do tend to even out.
Yeah, and this goes to show that, like we said earlier, if DerDrach would have just went to second castle and not tried to find a library card, he would have been fine.
Now, I will say, to play devil's advocate against myself, if Drach had found a library card, that would have been probably 2 minutes of time save. But it didn't take many checks being empty for him to have basically lost that time and more. So it was a difficult call. I do think if you're going to make that kind of decision, now's the time with a game lead. Still, this has been a fantastic set. This might be in contention for best set of the tournament to this point.
And we still
cannot
see
wait for game 3.
Taking so long to get it, and he checked the Blue Venus Weed.
Oh, hang on, that's the
right thing, right?
That's that manip we've seen before. Hang on, here it comes. Ooh, nothing.
Do my patented manip, which is take off the Arcana, see if I get it.
It was really funny. Independently, Dawn of Sorrow and Aria of Sorrow players have also done that as like a meme manip where you remove the Soul Eater ring. It's funny.
It literally does nothing, but it just,
of course, yeah. It's just you're so sick of the quote unquote luck boosting rings not working. You say, hey, I'll just take them off, and we'll see if that maybe fixes things somehow. It's funny how multiple people can arrive at that conclusion independently. It's been really cool to watch all of the habits and memes from Aria, Dawn, and Ritual randos kind of make an appearance in SotN. It's been a lot of fun. Big congrats to Matheus for staying alive in this honestly epic set with the 3rd seed Drach.
DerDrach did everything to potentially win the seed. He just fumbled it a little. We got a demon bro doing his hardest to...
We've seen Ghost and the Demon today. How about that? Time, we're going to game 3.